Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of One Take because life has no rehearsal. So, today I am absolutely thrilled because this is a voice from the past and a voice of the future to bring Laura. Laura Rinnankoski. I can never pronounce those names, it is my Latino thing. So, Laura worked with us at Food Court and Building ages ago.
Yeah.
She was an advertising professional, and then now, in a completely different twist, she is a world famous coach and transformation. What do you call it? Transformation coach, I assume.
Yes.
She has books. She has been featured all over the place. She's going to show us the covers of a few books. She's in magazines. You can see them in the back. So she truly made a huge switch from, I don't know, misleading people into helping people, from advertising into coaching. So, Laura, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Marcelo. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here today, and what a great reunion, right? Like thinking back to our days working in FCB, a couple of years ago, right? Like
Yeah.
like a few things have changed, right?
Well, talking about change. So let's go into the first one. I'm sure you have some kind of decisive moment where, into advertising. I'm sure. But
Yes.
honestly, you've achieved what very few people do in terms of coaching, in the world of coaching. You're world famous, you're a published author, you get invited everywhere, all expenses paid. I know the feeling. So, how did that happen? What was that decisive moment? What happened that you said, "I'm through with this. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this really big."
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's been an interesting journey. First of all, I've always known that I have a really big mission in this life. I've always known that, and I've always known that I'm here to help people, right? So coaching combines three things that have always been important to me: helping people, communicating. I love talking, in the four languages that I speak. I speak English, Spanish, Finnish, and Italian. And I'm also very spiritual. So coaching combines these three things for me really well. In terms of the decisive moment, so as I worked in advertising for a long time, right? Working in Miami, in advertising. It's funny because when people hear that I lived in Miami, they're like, "Oh wow, did you, were you on the beach all the time?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me? I was working the whole time." Because as you know, you work late in advertising every night, right?
Yep.
So it was great to work in advertising. I mean, I learned so much. I learned so much from you in FCB as well. But I always knew that that wasn't my path. I always knew that that wasn't my passion, right? So when I moved to Ireland, Dublin, Ireland, where I live, so I became a coach. I became a coach here, and I also worked with some advertising agencies over here as well. I worked in advertising, marketing, and sales. But then, there was a moment that, like, I always had contracts, right? Because I knew that, I had a bigger calling and that coaching was what I needed to concentrate on. I would always do contract jobs, right? I wouldn't take like a full-time job because then that would give me like the space and the flexibility, right? So after one of these contract jobs ended, I was like, that's it. This is the moment. This is the moment that I'm gonna, focus on the coaching 100%. And that's when everything started like skyrocketing. That's when my coaching started taking quantum leaps forward. And that's, and as a result, I've gotten 8 awards, 5 magazine covers, and I'm in 2 best-selling books, and all of that happened, pretty fast. But I think when you make a decision to go forward and to focus on your passion, to focus on your life path, that's when incredible things start happening. So that's what happened to me.
And your books have really cool titles. You want to show them to us?
Yeah, so this is the first one, Quiet and Badass. I'm not quiet, but I am a badass. This is the first one. And then this one is Burned. This one is Burned, Brave and Inspiring Stories from Women Who Have Overcome Their Fears to Speak Their Truth and Share Their Wisdom. So both of these books are like multi-author books. I'm in these books with other coaches. It's 18 of us in both books. So it's 18 women, and we write about difficult moments that we've been through, what we learned in the process, and how we got to the other side. So
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
really cool. So, I'll tell people in the podcast, please buy the books.
exactly. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
yeah, they're on Amazon. We're Amazon bestsellers and they're on Amazon. So yeah.
No, that's great. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
So, talking about that, so you go into coaching, which, as you know, I've been told by a friend of mine, I am both uncoachable and I could never be a coach. Both.
Right. At
So,
least you have that clear, right? It's good to know these things, right?
yeah, it's very clear. I won't be a coach. But it's a difficult, very difficult profession. Very difficult.
Yes.
There's many aspects to how difficult it is. First of all, you do need a special persona, I
Hmm.
think.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm sure. But you also need, the credibility to begin. Like, why would I trust you with my money? And
Yes.
then you also need, of course, the follow through and everything. It's a very. I've seen a lot of people who call themselves coaches,
Yeah.
which are not.
Yeah.
But and I've known a few really good ones. So like I'm torn. Like the good ones are really good, the
Yeah.
bad ones they're really awful.
Right.
But it's still a profession. I mean, like you have many coaches. It is an industry,
Hmm.
and of course it changes. But I don't want to steal any of the thunder. But like, what changed that you would have never thought in a million years? Oh, this would happen.
Right. Like what's changed in the coaching industry? Well, of course, now AI, right? AI is everywhere. AI is everywhere. And of course, in the coaching industry as well, right? But I think that one thing is the human connection is so important, right? Human connection and community as well. The world is so divisive right now, so divisive. We really need to come together. We really need to understand that we're all connected, right? And we have more things in common than our differences, right? And human connection in all ways, especially when you're dealing with a coach, is so important because AI can do all kinds of great stuff, right? We all know that. But AI is not human. You're not going to get the human connection with AI no matter how advanced the AI is, right? So yeah, so I think that that's really important, and of course that's changing the coaching industry right now.
So no, but not only changing. I mean, there's a huge amount of talk and everything. Anecdotally, I was telling you about my nephew,
Right.
whose best friend is an AI bot. He talks to the AI bot all the time, and
Yeah.
as to the use of AI in the treatment of dementia, those kind of things. I mean, you see it going in one that direction where you got to ask yourself, could this be real? So
Mm,
of course, you being like up there in the apex, you got to be thinking about what do you do? Do
yeah.
you use it as a tool? If so, what kind of tool? For example, a really pedestrian example for me.
Yeah.
I use ChatGPT a lot to create illustrations.
Right.
Like I'll be doing a presentation about whatever, and I'll go into ChatGPT and say, hey, I need an illustration of for a Monday morning quarterback, which is a very American phrase meaning, yeah, right, you're a Monday morning quarterback, like you think you know. So I
Uh-huh.
want a fat guy with a t-shirt, halfway up the belly, 5 beers around. It's
Mm,
this kind of ambiance. And I describe it in the prompt, and there
yeah.
we are. And I have the perfect illustration. I use it a lot to create, like presentations.
Yeah.
Hey, come up with this phrase, or can I have this, or whatever. What are your plans? How are you planning to integrate AI
Yeah.
into your coaching?
Yeah. Well, I use AI as well, and I have used it, to create some programs. And Tony Robbins, he has the Tony Robbins AI, right? So I guess I can think of doing that as well, doing my own,
It's funny.
exactly programming my own AI. But I do have resistance to it as well, because even if I have my own AI, like it's not me, right? Like I want to interact with my clients and help my clients, right? So but yeah, I do use it, and I guess I can think about doing like what Tony Robbins did, right? Obviously I'm not at the level of him. I mean, no one is, but But yeah, I mean, AI is here. It is here, and we have to use it whether we like it or not, right? So
No, but for example, I used it to create a mentorship program for Your Gray Matters, which is my, well, the
yeah,
nonprofit that is hosting this, right?
yeah,
So I created a mentorship program for, older workers who want to be mentors, because I've been a mentor to a lot of people.
you have.
So older workers who want to be mentors and therefore add value to the company. I
Yeah,
didn't know where to begin, so I used AI to basically outline all of the course, and then you go in and you change stuff, and that kind
yeah,
of thing. So, and the other part where I can see where it'd be useful is, imagine if you have, I don't know, 1,000 transcripts from
exactly.
whatever, from coaching.
Yeah,
Martin, my friend who's been in the podcast, he's coached, I don't know, 1,000 people. Let's
yeah,
say you have 1,000 transcripts. You could easily go into ChatGPT, feed the 1,000 transcripts, and say, I want a summary of what the top three worries are among these. I've done it for retail bankruptcies. I actually did
yeah,
an
definitely.
analysis.
Yeah,
So, are you planning to do something along those lines?
yeah, definitely. And
Give us
actually,
some insights.
yeah, yeah. No, and like I use a program like when I have a coaching session with one of my clients, I use AI. Like there's an AI that records the session and
Oh, yeah.
writes notes as well, right? So I do,
Yes.
like, and that's excellent, right? That's excellent,
Yes.
right? To have the AI, that records the session and then writes all the notes too, right? Like, yeah,
Yeah, we
that's
use
really,
it in a lot of the Zooms. I
yeah,
personally have Firefly, but
yeah,
other people have other ones. That is a very good help,
yes.
especially the notes. I don't want to watch the video again.
Yeah, the notes.
The
The notes
notes,
is really good.
yeah,
The
and
notes.
eventually you could even say you can take all of the notes from every session and
Yeah.
like summarize it. For example, I
Yeah.
have a client that sent me a 170-page PDF on the status of engagement in the employment. Engagement in employment, like
You're right.
what is the cost of replacement, blah blah blah. I'm not going to read 170 pages. Crazy.
Yeah.
So I put them into ChatGPT and I said, Give me a summary of this. What I want to know is what is the executive summary. Then I want to know, five or six key findings of this, and then any sort of anecdote that support that, and then I want the citations.
Yeah.
So, then 3 pages later, I can talk to the client and say, oh, yeah, well, we should do this and this and this in the presentation. So, no, it's very interesting. So, it's good to know that you're on top of it.
Yes.
I have a visceral reaction, if I'm going to be honest. Whenever I hear anybody who's over 40 talk bad about technology.
Right.
I think that we, as older people, we have the moral responsibility, really, to say how can we do good with the technology because it's still going to
Yeah.
be there.
It's here, exactly. You might as well work with it, right? Like there's no
Yes,
point resisting it because it's there. It's here.
but it is up to us, with more experience, to try to turn it into something good, something that is useful,
Exactly.
as
Yeah.
opposed to whatever people do that's bad with AI
Yeah,
or technology.
exactly.
So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, one final question, and it is, of course, the essence of your gray matters. Let's
Yeah.
say you're advising, you're coaching a
Yeah.
CEO, and the CEO is looking for, like a replacement or, like a new hire, high level, right?
Yeah.
And the CEO is looking at candidates who are, I don't know, 30, 45, and then, people like us,
Yeah.
young people. I'm not going to go
Yeah.
into ages. I can reveal mine. I just turned 71.
Wow, I'm going. Happy birthday, Marcelo. You look a lot younger, and like you've always had like a young spirit, right? Yeah,
Must
you've
be
always
that.
had a young spirit.
That,
Like,
as we say in Spanish, la mala leche, the bad temper.
it's an eternal teenager, right? Like
Yes.
forever 21, right? Forever 21.
Forever 16, according to some of my friends.
Forever 16. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I never matured, according to some of my friends.
yeah.
So-called friends.
Yeah.
But what would you tell that CEO? What is a big advantage of hiring an older worker?
An older worker. Well, the experience that we have, right? Like the life experience and the professional experience that we have. You're not, like a 20-year-old doesn't have that, right? A 20-year-old doesn't have that life experience and the professional experience that somebody older has, right? So just that adds so much, right? And I think that it's really important for people to value that in themselves, right? Because you have to value it in yourself, and then for like the CEOs to value that as well. Excuse me, because there's so much like so many thoughts about like older people, right? But I think it should be really valued. Excuse me.
Oh, have water. Feel
Yeah,
free.
exactly. Mm.
So, one of the things that also worry me a lot about experience, and I'll be
Yeah.
frank about it, I hate the word experience. I like expertise.
Right.
Expertise to me is experience that you've actually analyzed and figure out what worked, what didn't work. As opposed, for example, when I interviewed people for the media department, and somebody will say, "Oh, I have 8 years of banking experience."
Yes.
You gotta ask yourself, what does that even mean? Like
Mm.
8 years of media banking experience, like how does that translate into real life? As opposed, to be honest, to pharma experience, which has a lot of legal, things that
Mm.
you need to input
Yeah.
into the ads and all of that, the fair balance and all that. But if somebody says experience, I don't know. Somebody says expertise, that means something. That means that the person has studied. Would you say that is also? I don't want to lead any the witnesses, so to speak, but would you say that that would be one of the deciding factors on hiring older people?
Definitely the expertise. I agree with that. Definitely. Not just the experience, expertise. Yes. I like that word. It sums it up well. It sums it up well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, no, good. Because I want to do that a lot. I want to stress to other people who watch the podcast that it is not the experience. You can have, and I did, by the way, when I was 22 and working at Kenyon and Ecker in Spain, some
Yeah.
guy who was ancient, he was like 40. Imagine.
Ancient. Yeah, exactly. Because when you're 22, 40 is ancient, right?
Ancient, totally, double my age. And he came over and he said something about having 20 years of experience. And I told him, listen, what you have is 1 year, 20 times.
You said that to him.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a patronizing young asshole.
You
What
started
can I?
young. You started young, Marcelo.
Yes, I started very young. Oh no, I started way younger than that. So, but it is true. Some people do. Some people have 1 year, 20 times. So one of the things I want to tell to everybody watching the podcast is you don't want experience. Trust me. Anybody
Yeah,
can have experience. You live
exactly.
long enough, like me, you live long enough, you have experience. What you want
Yes.
is expertise. What you want is to analyze what happened and then say, oh, this worked, this didn't work. You
Yeah,
know, that is what is really valuable to a company.
definitely.
So,
Definitely.
anyway, I see I don't want to take a lot of your time. I know it's very valuable, Miss Coach. You probably have, clients or patients or whatever you call them.
Yeah, clients. I
So,
call them clients. Yes.
yeah. So, thank you very much, Laura. I think I
You.
have a friend. I gotta look it up. I might
Hmm.
have a friend who is in Ireland or something like that. She was not in England, but
Okay.
she was in the UK somewhere. I'm gonna look it up. She works in advertising too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
from
Cool.
New Zealand. And she used
Nice.
to be the media director of New Zealand. I have to find out where she is. And if
Nice.
she's around you, I'll connect you both.
Yeah.
She's a
Yeah.
very nice person. Very. So anyway, it was
Sounds
real pleasure. I am absolutely impressed. I mean, for people listening to the podcast, you have no clue. I mean, we're talking to somebody who worked in an office in Miami, and then like years later, worldwide recognized coach, books, covers, invited everywhere. This is really big. A lot of people never make it that high. So, Laura, I really want to thank you for taking the time, which I
Thank
know is
you.
very valuable, and talking to us in the podcast. And I wish you the best. I really do.
Thank you so much, Marcelo. It was great. It was great to catch up with you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
And since you're in Dublin, have a Guinness for me.
I will. I will have a Guinness for you, definitely.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.